In 2005, Yahoo made an investment outside its core business. The company put $1 billion into Alibaba. The deal secured a large ownership stake. At the time, Alibaba was still small by global standards. Western investors paid little attention. China's online retail market was still developing. Most transactions were offline. Digital payments were limited. Logistics systems were fragmented. Delivery networks were uneven. Warehousing capacity was inconsistent. The investment remained inactive on Yahoo's balance sheet. It did not affect daily operations. It required little oversight. Over time, Alibaba expanded. More merchants joined the platform. Small businesses listed products online. Consumer trust increased. Payment tools improved. Delivery speed increased. Transaction volume grew year by year. The company's scale increased steadily. By the early 2010s, the platform had national reach. In 2012, Yahoo sold half of its ownership. The sale brought in $7.6 billion. The company received immediate cash. The ownership position was reduced. The remaining stake continued to exist. In 2014, Alibaba went public. The valuation exceeded $200 billion. Global attention followed. Public markets priced future growth. The shares sold earlier were worth significantly more by then. In 2005, News Corporation acquired MySpace. The purchase price was $580 million. At the time, MySpace dominated social networking. User activity was high. Profiles were customized. Pages carried music players. Bands promoted new releases. Independent artists found audiences. Teen users returned daily. Traffic volumes were extreme. News Corporation focused on monetization. Advertising inventory increased. Banner ads were added to profiles. Pop-ups appeared. Media played automatically. Multiple elements loaded at once. Page load times increased. Server strain became common. System errors appeared more frequently. User complaints increased. Bug fixes moved slowly. Design changes were delayed. Advertising impressions remained the priority. Revenue metrics guided decisions. During the same period, Facebook expanded. The interface remained simple. Pages loaded quickly. Profiles followed a consistent format. Customization was limited. The platform remained stable. Performance issues were rare. Users began to migrate gradually. By 2008, MySpace traffic declined sharply. Advertiser interest followed the users. In 2011, the platform was sold. The sale price was about $35 million. In 1999, Sony Pictures purchased the film rights to Spider-Man. The price was $7 million. Marvel required cash at the time. Sony controlled film production. Movie budgets were large. Release schedules were fixed. Revenue depended on box office turnout. Merchandise revenue was shared. Toys and clothing were licensed. Retail sales followed film releases. This structure remained in place for several years. In 2011, Sony required capital. The company faced production expenses. Funding was needed for future films. Sony sold its share of merchandising rights. The payment was $175 million. The transaction was completed quickly. Sony retained the movie rights. Retail merchandise sales continued. Toys remained on shelves. Apparel lines expanded globally. Merchandise revenue continued year-round. Film production followed film release cycles. Each film required new investment. Each release carried uncertainty. Merchandise sales continued independent of film schedules. Sony produced the films. Disney collected merchandise revenue. In the early 2000s, Subway expanded rapidly. The company used a franchise model. Corporates sold licenses. Individual owners operated stores. Startup costs were kept low. Training requirements were minimal. Build-outs followed standardized plans. The brand spread quickly. New locations opened across cities. Many opened near existing stores. Contracts offered little territorial protection. Corporate revenue came from royalties and fees. These payments were fixed. They were collected regardless of store performance. Corporate earned revenue when stores opened. Corporate did not lose revenue when stores closed. Customer traffic was divided across locations. Sales per store declined. Operating costs remained fixed. Rent did not change. Labor costs did not change. Supply costs remained stable. Owners reduced expenses to remain open. Staffing levels dropped. Ingredient quality varied. Maintenance declined. Closures increased. By 2023, thousands of U.S. locations had shut down. In 2008, Bank of America acquired Countrywide Financial. The purchase price was about $4 billion. Countrywide was a major mortgage lender. The housing market was weakening. Home prices had begun to fall. Loan defaults were increasing. The acquisition increased scale. It also increased exposure. Many loans carried high default risk. Documentation quality varied. Underwriting standards differed. Defaults increased as housing prices fell. Foreclosures rose. Legal disputes followed. Investor lawsuits appeared. Government investigations followed. Regulatory scrutiny increased. Settlements accumulated. Over time, the total cost exceeded $40 billion. In 1981, a film production sought a product placement. The movie was E.T. The request went to Mars. The product was M&M's. Executives declined the proposal. The company maintained existing brand controls. Marketing plans remained unchanged. The offer moved to another firm. Hesse accepted. The product used was Reese's Pieces. The candy appeared on screen. The film was released. Audience response was strong. Repeat viewings followed. Media attention increased. Candy sales increased sharply. The association became widely recognized. In 2011, Netflix separated its DVD and streaming businesses. The DVD service was renamed Quickster. Streaming remained under the Netflix name. Customers required 2 accounts. Billing systems were separate. Account management became complex. The combined price increased. Many subscribers still relied on DVDs. Streaming infrastructure continued to develop. Content libraries were incomplete. Internet speeds varied by region. The change occurred at once. Cancellations increased. Customer support volumes rose. About 800,000 subscribers left in 1 quarter. The stock price declined sharply. The Quickster plan was canceled. The businesses were recombined. In 2012, Starbucks acquired Teavana. The purchase price was $620 million. The strategy focused on mall-based retail. Store layouts emphasized sampling. Tea sales carried high margins. Mall traffic supported the model. Consumer behavior shifted. Online shopping increased. Foot traffic declined. Mall visits fell year by year. Lease costs remained fixed. Labor costs remained fixed. Sales slowed. Stores became unprofitable. By 2023, thousands of U.S. locations had shut down. In 2008, Bank of America announced a hosting transition. The Tonight Show would change hosts. The schedule was set years in advance. Contracts were negotiated early. Marketing plans were prepared. The transition occurred in 2009. Viewership declined. Local affiliates raised concerns. Late-night lead-ins weakened. Local news ratings suffered. NBC adjusted the schedule. The changes altered the traditional time slot. Viewer confusion increased. Advertiser uncertainty followed. The plan collapsed. NBC paid $45 million to terminate the contract. The previous host returned. In the late 1980s, Pepsi expanded in the Soviet Union. The local currency could not be exchanged internationally. Cash payments were not possible. Trade used physical assets instead.
Ships were transferred. Submarines were included. The vessels were later sold for scrap. Distribution continued. The brand remained available. Soon after, the Soviet Union collapsed. The arrangement ended.